at our Barbecue Lippman Early Learning Center, guest educators from China came to our school and toured to learn about our program from the school's director, Susan Feld. Now, I was fortunate enough to provide a brief, or as brief as a rabbi can be, explanation of the synagogue, its connection to tradition and history, as well as the symbolic meanings of the chapel and the sanctuary's architecture. In any event, I happened to head into one of the classrooms, and in preparation, the students were learning about Chinese history, geography, and culture, including the cooking and, of course, eating of various Chinese delicacies, including lo mein and dumplings. Yet, instead of eating this traditional Chinese fare with an American utensil, teachers taught the students the Chinese custom of using chopsticks, right? You have to shave off the wood. This is a very important thing. Now, in thinking about chopsticks and our typical American silverware, the fork, the spoon, and the knife, while both are used to eat food, each is designed with completely different cultural realities in mind, which is symbolic of the way food was prepared and eaten in each culture. Cutlery, for example, which came about in the 13th century England, which I am simplifying when I say this, seeks to overcome an obstacle, right? Cut through meat and other tough and or slippery foods. Silverware is not concerned with how much one gets from plate to mouth, but rather that one has the opportunity to do it without greasy hands. Chopsticks came about in an entirely different social context, where noodles and rice dishes dominated the food selections, and cultural norms suggest minimization rather than overindulgence. Now, as those that have used or tried to use chopsticks can attest, it is a very interesting eating experience. Now, depending on one's perspective and one's experience, the reaction to them could be that they are fun and exotic, or useless and intimidating. Beginners figure this out quickly. The complexity of manipulating the fingers just right and holding the food in a specific way so it does not fall out, especially at the moment right before it's about to hit one's tongue, can be complicated. However, when mastered, it does feel like quite the accomplishment. So why discuss the difference between chopsticks and silverware? We all know there's a difference. Well, it is not because we are getting close to the December 24th stereotypical Jewish ritual of eating Chinese food. Instead, the physical and cultural differences associated with chopsticks and silverware call to mind the difficulties many face when trying to see value in something foreign. Not just foreign cultures, but also attitudes, beliefs, and connections, especially when building and maintaining our relationships. This Shabbat, we read from the Torah portion, Vayishlach, witnessing the reunion of two brothers and foes. For Jacob and Esau, who 20 years before fought over a birthright and a father's blessing, are, according to our text, either on the verge of reuniting or of a final battle. Unsure of the other's agenda, as the brothers can prepare for their confrontation, stress was at its height, and the past most certainly remains at the forefront. Upon hearing of Jacob's arrival, Esau came to the field with 400 men, fearing a battle might ensue. And Jacob, preparing to approach his brother, aligned his servants and family into military flanks, making sure that the most meaningful to him were stationed in the least noticeable spot. Yet as tensions mounted, instead of attacking, I should say, Jacob bowed 7 times as he drew near to Esau. And Esau immediately ran and embraced him, fell on his neck, kissed him, and together they wept. The story, more than a warm embrace, befit of a Hollywood ending, becomes representative of our own internal struggles, especially when confronted with our own relationships, with a spouse, or a partner, a friend, or a family member. There are times when many might feel taken advantage of, unappreciated, or kept at a distance. Instead of expressing the thoughts occurring internally, many hold on to those emotions, letting situations fester and anger escalate. Expecting the other person to change, many shield themselves by becoming more confrontational, expressing criticisms more freely, and contemplating unspoken expectations concerning the other person. While seemingly protecting one's vulnerabilities and emotions, this pattern, instead of creating tighter bonds, actually pushes a relationship farther away. Following the reunion of Jacob and Esau, Esau looked at his brother and stated, "What do you mean by all this company which I have met?" To which Jacob answered, "To gain my Lord's favor." In response, Esau shares in Hebrew, "Yesh li rav achi yehi lecha asher lach." I have enough, my brother. Let what you have remain yours. No matter what the past was and the pain each of them caused the other, Esau affirms Jacob for who he is and what beliefs he holds dear. By accepting Jacob at that moment, Esau offered a path for all of us to reconcile with others and ourselves. See, we all might bleed and we all might breathe. Yet the differences between two people are like chopsticks and silverware. Each of us has different beliefs, understandings of the world, and ways to handle certain things. And every person has great strengths and weaknesses, including character flaws, self-centeredness, and ego. While many might wish these aspects would disappear in others, there are many who wish them to cease to exist in ourselves. See, the perfect relationship does not exist, and there is no easy fix for a broken relationship. Yet as long as the other is not causing emotional, physical harm to us, when we accept the idiosyncrasies in our partners, our friends, and our family members, we can work to build, with those we care about, more long-lasting bonds. Shabbat Shalom.